right? With that extra O. And if someone does a thorough job, it usually means he does a complete job. So, George cleaned his house thoroughly. Adverb form here. Last night. Okay. So, last night, he cleaned his house thoroughly. He did a complete job. And usually when somebody does his job in a thorough way, that means that they do it step by step. So they do the first thing first, and the next thing second, and the next thing third, and the next thing fourth. There's a rhythm to it. All right? So we were on THs. Let's do THs at the end of words. With, north, south, without in the middle. Without. Yeah. Without. George, without. Your tongue has to come out a little bit. Or when you say it quickly, there's a good chance you won't say it right. Without. Renee? You've got to blow for most of these. Without. Okay, better. So you've got to use your tongue for that. How about fourth? You've got to blow over the top of your tongue. Seventh. Eighth. Ninth. Tenth. 11th. Overdo it. 13th. 13th. It's a hard one. TH. 13th. 14th. 15th. 16th. 17th. 18th. 19th. Not 19, 19th. You're not even trying, Marisol. 19th. 20th. Very nice. Okay, that's as far as we'll go. All right, back to preposition. In, on, next to, between, behind, over, under, below, around, against. So those are what we call prepositions of place or location. So, what does that mean? Prepositions of place or location. We use these prepositions when we're talking about where things are. So, I'm in room 20. This bottle of hand sanitizer is on this, I don't even know what to call this. What do you want to call it? Container. You teach. Container, very good. On the container. Or I put thank you, I didn't have to do it. I put the bottle of hand sanitizer into the container. Very good. So these are prepositions of place or location. Tells you where things are, usually compared to something else. Right? In a container, on a container, next to a container. Right? Or instead of container, you could say the wall, the desk, the table, the notebook. You could say in, on, or next to any of those. Okay? Behind, above, over. So these are called prepositions of place or prepositions of location. All right? Next ones. Prepositions.
Prepositions.
Of motion.
Motion.
Or direction.
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 Good. Direction.
Direction.
Not direction. Because the I in English is not usually E. Right?
E.
It. Direction.
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 Very good. And you did that well. You don't want to roll your R in English, right? So in Spanish, you roll your R all the time. In English, never. I left you. It's a little game. All right. So prepositions of motion or direction tell where a person
Person.
or thing
Thing.
or thing, very good.
Thing.
Thing, very nice, is going.
Is going.
Okay, and here are some words for that. Into,
Into.
through,
Through.
out of,
Out of.
away from,
Away from.
around,
Around.
up,
Up.
down.
Down.
Good. All right. So, into, I would call, I can understand why they call that motion instead of place. I put the scissors into the container. Okay, so that's more motion rather than location. But the reality is, it doesn't matter if you know whether they're a preposition of location or a preposition of motion, right? Preposition's a preposition is a preposition. You just need to understand what a preposition is. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be a movie star, I guess. George, am I going to become famous?
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I hope so. And any of you who want to be, maybe the back of Marco's head is going to become famous.
Yes.
I'm not sure why he's doing it, but it's okay. What? But it's an interesting idea. I wonder if I should get someone in here and do that with my own camera. Maybe I'll think about that.
Yes.
All right, let's go on. So what I did is find a few prepositions exercises online for you. And we're going to go over those next. But prepositions are very hard to teach. You know, they're just mostly things that you have to get. You have to assimilate. You have to take in and just get them from having heard them used a number of times. They're harder to figure out. So, in, on, and at, we went over earlier in the semester, correct? So, those are teachable through a formula. And dates, we talked about dates too, didn't we? In regards to prepositions. So, I'm going to see him on Tuesday, right? Not in Tuesday, not at Tuesday. I'm going to see him on June 4th. When we just have a month and a day, we say on. Do you remember this?
Yes.
If you say a month and a day and a year, we also say on. I'm going to see him on June 14th, 2014. This should be a review. Okay. On the other hand, if we just have a month, we say in. I'm going to see him in June. On Tuesday in June. All right? So, those are the formulas. Those are the ones that you can memorize. In, on, and at. In, she's in the room. On top of something. At, when a place is a little bit far away, right? If someone's in the hospital, we say that I'm going to visit her in the hospital, meaning inside of the hospital. If we say mom's in Target, usually we don't say in Target unless we're standing close to Target. Oh, she's in the store. She's inside the store. Okay? All right, so let's do some of these. The ones I picked don't have the formulas, so there'll be new things that we'll be going over. Here we go. We're going to do them all together. And we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on the computer tonight. All right, I'll make this a little bigger for you. So, they're giving us a choice of answers here, and one of the choices is you don't use a preposition. All right? So, I read the directions, but it goes off the page right now. All right, number one, I'll see you.
I'll see you.
In May.
That's one I just told you, right? This is a review. Which one? I'll see you
In May.
in May. Very good. Number two, I'll see you
On next Tuesday.
Is it on next Tuesday?
Yeah.
We know it's not in next Tuesday, right? So it's either on or no preposition. Do we say, I'll see you on next Tuesday, or do we say, I'll see you next Tuesday?
See you next Tuesday. See you in
Normally we say, I'll see you next Tuesday. I'll see you next Tuesday. Now, you can say, I'll see you on Tuesday if you want, but when they put the next in there, it sounds awkward to say that. So, not that on next Tuesday would be terrible, but I'll see you next Tuesday is much better. People will still understand you if you say on next Tuesday. If you say, I'll see you in next Tuesday, they'll like pull out their ears. But on next Tuesday is okay. I'll see you next Tuesday is best. Are you taking notes on these? Yes. At least mental notes. All right, number three. Can you see this okay?
Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay. Number three, we play tennis?
I play tennis. I play tennis.
You play tennis?
Yes, I play tennis.
Okay. So what would you say? Do you play tennis every week?
Yes.
Okay, so how would you say it?
I play tennis.
I play tennis every week, I play tennis in every week, or I play tennis on every week?
Every week.
Very good, no preposition. I play tennis every week. Excellent. That's just simple present tense, correct? Simple present. Number four, let's meet. Very good. Let's meet at 4:30. So when you have a time alone, use at before. Number five, I'm going to work.
No preposition.
I'll see you in half an hour. You need a preposition there. You can't say, I'll see you half an hour. In half an hour.
I see you. I am going to work.
When you have a period of time, like 4 hours, I was there 4 hours. No, I was there for 4 hours.
I'm going to work.
So you normally need a preposition when you're describing a time period. I'm going to work, in this case, in half an hour. So I'll be leaving 1/2 hour from now.
I'm going to work.
Number 6. Pull it up.
I call you in.
I'll call you.
No preposition.
I'll call you this evening.
No.
Okay. What time? I don't know. Whenever.
Anytime.
I'll call you this evening. No preposition.
No preposition.
No in, no on. I'll call you this evening. An indefinite period of time. Number 7. I'll call you.
I call you Evening.
Evening.
In the evening.
So these have to get to the point
At the
where they
evening.
sound good to you. You have to have enough experience with English in order to get them.
I call you.
Without enough experience. And when I say enough experience, it's not just listening to English when you have time. You know, it's focusing on it. It's when you're watching a movie, listening for the exact words that are used. Are they using in or on in a particular sentence?
I call you.
When you're
on.
reading also, do they use in or on or at here? Huh, I wonder why they used in this sentence. Right? So I'll call you in the evening.
In.
We wouldn't normally say this. We normally say, I'll call you this evening, or I'll call you tomorrow evening. But if this is an alternative way of saying, I'll call you this evening. I'll call you in the evening.
In the evening.
Ranulfo, can you see? It's okay? Number 8, I'll talk to you.
I call you on.
Very good. I'll talk to you on the 10th of June. On the 10th of June. So if you're going to state a date that way, on the 10th. Number 9, she can't come.
On.
Monday.
So one choice is to say this without a preposition. I'll call, she can't come Monday. That's one way to say it. But with a preposition, how would you say it?
On Monday.
On Monday.
How many of you say on? You're correct.
On.
Now you want to raise your hand. I'll call you on Monday. And sorry, she can't come on Monday. And number 10, I like to watch TV.
At 9. At 9.
Every night.
At 9.
At night? You okay with that one?
At 9.
At night is correct. Okay, so let's review these. I'll see you.
May.
I'll see you in May. I'll see you in September. When you're talking about just a month, use in. Number 2, I'll see you
Next Tuesday.
next Tuesday. No preposition. Number 3, we play tennis
Every week.
every week. No
Every
preposition.
week.
Are you following?
Yes.
Twice a week.
Number 4, let's meet at 4:30. Very good. I think you're learning.
First step.
UST.
Number 5, I'm going to work
In
in
half an hour.
half an hour.
And how another one?
In half an hour.
Number 6, I'll call you.
This evening.
Yeah, I'll call you this evening. I'll call you this evening.
This evening.
Number 7, I'll call you
Evening.
in the evening.
In the.
Okay. It's a less common way of saying, I'll call you this evening, but it's correct. Number 8, I'll talk to you
On the 10th of June.
on the 10th of June.
10th of June.
By the way, I have these links on my page, right? So if you go to the page, like you should be doing regularly, you can click on the link and it will take you to this. All right? So on the 10th of June, she can't come on Monday.
On Monday.
You can say she can't come Monday or she can't come on Monday. Herrera, can you see this? Are you okay? Or do I need to move this? All right. She can't come on Monday or she can't come Monday. Number 10, I like to watch TV at night. See how much better you were the second time? You want to do another one?
Yes.
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 All right. Go back. Find the other one. The second one. Yeah, that one had more dates than I remembered it having. All right. Blank, the meantime, you can prepare dinner. Do you know what meantime means? Meantime. While we're waiting. In the meantime. Whoops. In the meantime. So we're waiting for Dad to come home. In the meantime, you can prepare dinner. In the meantime. All right? While we're waiting.
Sometime.
So, dinner is on the stove. It'll be ready in 20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to do some homework. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for something else to happen. It's not 6:15 yet. We have 5 minutes. In the meantime, let me give you a spelling test. Okay? While we're waiting for everyone to come. So while we're waiting, in the meantime. Number 2, have you decided? So you have a choice of 2 in this one. On a name for the baby yet, or have you decided about a name to the baby yet?
About the name to the baby. About to the name.
About two.
For a name. For a name. The baby kid.
For the baby.
Oh, this one has you confused, doesn't it?
About to.
Have you decided?
About to.
Or
What sounds better?
About the name for the baby.
I don't know. They both sound
have you
okay.
decided for a name the baby kid?
Have you decided on a name for the baby yet? Have you decided on a name for the baby yet? About doesn't work here at all. Have you decided on a name? Have you decided on where you want to go for dinner tomorrow? Have you decided on?
On all.
Have you decided on whether you want to come to class tomorrow? Yeah, it's Friday. I'm not coming. We decide on. The preposition on oftentimes follows the verb decide. So have you decided on a name for the baby? Question uses it, right? Not already. Think about that one for a second. Yes. Have you decided on a name for the baby? Elisa, have you decided? Not yet. Tomorrow. Number 3.
Tomorrow.
It's too late. Are you still working?
On.
Very good. On your project. So we can work on and we can work in. Both on and in are prepositions that we use after work. So we work on something. I'm going to work on my Spanish homework tonight. You're going to work on your English homework, aren't you? Work on your English homework. All right? I'm going to work on my car tonight. On the other hand, within, we can say, I'm working in Los Angeles now. Or I work in Los Angeles now. Either one. All right, number 4. He reminds me about or of my brother-in-law.
You remind me about my brother-in-law.
About.
What do you say, Marta? Yes, Marta. You don't remind me of my brother-in-law. It is of. That is correct. And this is tricky because you can use about after remind. So lots of times verbs have prepositions after them. We call them a special kind of verb, a phrasal verb. It's a word that is followed by a preposition. A verb that is followed by a preposition. It's called a phrasal verb. Just like get on the bus, get off the bus. Get often is followed by a preposition. There are many different ways of using get. Get into, get over, get around. So different verbs, again, are followed by different prepositions.
In this case,
So, reminds,
me,
he reminds me of somebody. He reminds me of how my father used to act. He reminds me of how great a soccer player he used to be. He reminds me of how great a soccer player he used to be. Every chance he gets. He reminds me of how I used to be. He reminds me of. You can say remind about, but it's less common. I'm trying to think of a good example for that one. He reminded me about calling my mother on Mother's Day. He reminded me about it. Yeah, I mean, remind about is not as common as reminds me of, but still not uncommon. He reminded me He reminded me about leaving at 4 o'clock. He reminded me about eating dinner with the family. I'm trying to think of a rule right now to help you. If you have action after reminds, oftentimes we use about. When we use reminds with of, we're talking about static things, mostly. So, he reminds me of something that's there, not something that has action. When we have action, more about. When it's reminding of something that's the way it is, of. So he reminds me of how my father used to be, of how my father. That's as good as I'm going to be able to do on the difference between on and about. There isn't a great rule for it. All right. Number 5, we are leaving.
4 carrot next Saturday.
No.
4.
No.
4.
2.
This next Sunday.
Which one?
4.
Yeah, after leaving, we need a different preposition than we use for going. Going uses one preposition. Leaving uses a different preposition. So, if this were going, what would we say? We are going to. There'd be no question, right? We are going to Paris next Saturday. With leaving, we use for. We are leaving for Paris next Saturday. All right? So again, different verbs use different prepositions after them. So, one way to get this is by looking at a list of phrasal verbs. Remember, a phrasal verb is a verb that is followed by a preposition. So get, up, leave, for, go, to. Right? These are all verbs that are followed by prepositions. Are you with me?
Yes.
Prepositions are hard. Prepositions oftentimes are the last things to come when you learn a language. Probably in every language. And in English, the reason why they're so hard is because there aren't very good rules for them. All right, next one. She was angry. Angry about herself or angry with herself? How do you say that word? With. You got to take out your tongue when you say it. With. She was angry with herself. Very good. Angry with. Actually, this is an adjective, right? She was angry with herself. You can also be angry at someone too, right?
Yes.
All right, number 7. I'm happy that he came.
To the conclusion.
What does conclusion mean? I'm happy that he came to the conclusion that I was right. What is conclusion? Yeah, that he decided, that he realized. Conclusion? Came to the conclusion. Conclusion usually means ending. The conclusion of a movie is the end of it, or a book is the end of it. So came to the conclusion means decided or realized. Decided this month. Okay. So, I'm happy that he realized that I was right. Came, what? To the conclusion. He came to the conclusion that I was right. A lot of people like to say that, right? I'm glad he finally realized that I was right. I was right. I was right. He finally got it. He finally realized. Came to the conclusion. And that's an expression. That's an idiom. He came to the conclusion that I was right. He concluded. He decided that I was right. Number 8. We do have to fight
For our freedom of freedom. For our freedom of speech.
With.
For.
Yeah, so this is one that's explainable. So if you fight with someone, you're fighting, right?
Yeah.
If you're fighting for something, you're fighting to win something. You're fighting for it.
Well.
I'm fighting for my freedom. I'm fighting for Martha's honor.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Oh.
That's my goal. For. I'm
For.
fighting for something. I'm fighting to get something. I'm fighting for freedom. I'm fighting for my country. My goal. The reason. Fight for something. Next one. Number 9. Excuse me.
For. I'm not late. Or being late.
Excuse me about being late or for being late? Everybody says for?
Yes.
Excuse me for being late. That's the reason. For being late. Excuse me, why? For being late. Late. L-A-T-E. Not being on time. This is interesting, isn't it?
Yes. Very interesting.
It is.
Yes, it is. Very interesting.
It's not boring.
No.
Okay, next one. And this is less common. I mean, one that you need to know. It's not great wording either. I insist in my innocence, or I insist on my innocence.
On.
We insist on things. So after insist, we normally use on. So what does insist mean? What? Persist? Continuance? Close. You insist. You keep saying something again and again. You
Repeat.
insist.
Repeat the same.
So when you insist on doing something, yeah, it's not exactly the same as persist, which is not quit. It's to keep saying something. Persist is usually to keep doing something. Insist is, I can write it down. All right. We insist on, and that means continue to say the same thing. He insisted on my going with him. So he kept saying it. And he was strong about it. He didn't say, well, if you want to. He said, I want you to come with me. I want you to come with me. I want you to come with me. That's insistent. Now, Persis, hi Gustavo.
Yes, I just came to say thank you everybody for your cooperation last night. Yes, and today was a success. It was a lot of people.
I heard it was fabulous.
Yes, tons of people, the food, the music, it was just great. And maybe you were not here, but you did your part. You cooperated, you helped us. I appreciate it. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By any chance you have the keys for room 29?
29?
209.
No, I never took them.
Okay. So I'm still
I don't
looking for
think-
the keys.
I don't think,
It was open already.
what? I don't know. It was open when I got there because I had photocopied it, but I didn't take
Okay.
it.
Well,
So you could try Duana or Vanessa.
I will try.
All right.
One more time,
Oh,
thank you.
Duana doesn't
Thank you
have it.
very much.
Duana didn't have it, because we locked up last time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check here.
Vanessa.
And, yeah, so the principal and everybody is very happy, and we thank you for your help.
How do you say that word? Cooperate. Cooperate. English learner. Cooperate. Cooperate.
Cooperate.
That's what you say to your children, right? Please cooperate with me. Go along with what I'm asking you to do. Cooperate.
Cooperate.
Don't fight me. Cooperate.
Cooperate.
I'm here to help you. But please, if you always fight me, I'm not going to be able to help you as much.
Cooperate.
And that's how classrooms operate best too. When the students believe in the teacher and they cooperate, right? When you know, different students want to talk at different times and they don't care what the teacher says, they're not cooperating, then it makes it worse for everybody. How do you pronounce it?
Cooperate.
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 Okay.
Cooperate.
You know, even when your English gets to be really good, there's a good chance it's not going to be perfect, right? There'll be certain things that you don't say absolutely perfectly. Because he's a very good speaker,
Cooperate.
right? So, sorry, you probably won't be perfect. But that doesn't mean you can't be excellent. All right. Cooperate, what was I going to insist on? And the other word, like insist, you guys brought up over here, persist. Continue to do. Whoops, I said same thing. Continue to do the same thing. You know, there's a certain amount of overlap, but insisting is always speaking. Persisting can sometimes mean speaking, but usually means doing. That's you.
That's you.
What a polite class we are. Cooperate to go along with what someone else wants. Cooperate can mean go along with whatever, with what someone else wants. Or it can mean, or work together to get something. So this is 2. Are we missing a table back there? I think it's still outside. If someone would bring it in during the break, that would be wonderful. I'll go to the next screen in 10 seconds. Remember, this is for some other class, not for us. When are we going to have the CASAS test? The answer is, I don't know. Probably in 2 weeks would be my guess. And then we have a promotional test we need to take. Do you know what the promotional test is?
No.
The test to be promoted to the next level. Remember, I don't make the rules, don't be mad at me. If you've already taken this class one time and you don't pass the promotional test, or I can't make a really good excuse to get you in there because you've done well on the tests and you just had a bad day, there's no option at West Valley anymore. You've got to find another school. And I'm very sorry. I can just tell you the reason is that they don't have enough money to have people repeat and repeat. We used to have people take the same class 4 or 5 times, but they just decided downtown that we can't afford to do that. If people are taking the same class 4 and 5 times, they're taking up someone else's space. So you have 2 times to take a class, but you need to be ready for the next level. Just because you've been in level 3 twice doesn't necessarily mean you're ready for level 4, right? So, I don't like being the policeman. It's not why I'm here. But I need to do my job. All right?
All right.
So this is the second time we've talked about this, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's go back to our quiz. So, insist on something. On follows insist. I insist on doing it my own way. She insisted on staying home instead of going out with everyone else. All right, now, number 11. They aren't interested
In.
in. So after interested, we need in. Nothing else. Interested in biology and going to the beach and having a good time and anything, right? Interested in. Or just the end of a sentence. They aren't interested. He isn't interested. All right, number 12. He always, wow. What is passion? Why are some of you smiling like that? Strong feeling, right? You can have passion for something or against something. What most of you are smiling about is passionate, right? All right. So, mixes passion, a strong feeling, with or against? Yeah, when you mix two things together, you mix one with another. So whether they're ideas that you're mixing or you're mixing ingredients to make a cake, you mix one thing with another. You mix things together. Number 13. It'll all depend about his mood or on his mood? It will all depend. Are we going to be able to go? Is Dad going to let us? It will all depend
All depends.
on his mood, right? It will depend on his mood. It will. We depend on things. I depend on you to come to class and to try hard. You depend on me to come to class and try hard. We depend on each other. Your children depend on you. So depend is one of those verbs that is followed by a preposition, and that preposition is, can't think of another example, probably always on. If not always, then almost always. So we depend on things, not depend at, not depend with, not depend in, depend on. What does that mean? It will all depend on his mood. Right, how the person feels about it. How he's feeling at the time. Is he in a good mood or a bad mood?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, what?
Say that again?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, what?
Okay, so you don't know how the guy's going to answer. You say, good morning, boss. Good morning, sir. What do you mean?
Good morning.
Or he says, yes, it is a good morning.
Nice mood.
Depends on what his mood is. Depends on what his mood is. 14, don't wait.
Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me.
No way for me.
Don't wait for me.
Don't wait for me.